Well, good morning, welcome back to another bass fishing video. Now, I've not done much bass fishing lately. I've been going out and doing a few other things, and I've kind of neglected my my lures and my lure rod, so I'm pretty excited to be out today. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning and I've got the whole day free. Now, I'm going to be fishing a mark first of all. I'm not going to get too long here, probably about an hour and a half maximum, because the tide races out and it becomes too low to fish. Now, I plan on going to a different coast of the island later on and trying there when the tide is rising again, and then I might also try somewhere else around high tide, which is this evening at about 5:30. So now we're into November, it's getting darker earlier. I must say, I've not actually fished in the dark in months. During the summer months I tend to just fish in the day. I'm not a big fan of fishing in the dark. I do enjoy it sometimes, and I've had some really great fishing in the dark before with some better fish. But obviously you can't see anything. It's very dark sometimes, and it makes it a bit more difficult. Also, it's extremely hard to film in the dark as well. You can't really put together a decent video, so that's why generally I prefer going out in the day. But yeah, I've got my Nomura Never Crack rod with me today, the trusty old rod. It's a bit battered and bruised now, but it's still going strong. I've got a Shimano Nasky 4000, and clipped on at the moment that I'm going to be using first is a Patchinko 125. This is the hollow bait, and I just want to say a massive thanks to Mick from Mr. Fish Jersey for the lures. Two Patchinko 125s that I've got to try out. They're untouched, straight out the box, so hopefully before the winter season kicks in we can get a few more bass off the top. So I'm just waiting for the tide to drop a little bit more. There's one gully I need to get over which is still covered at the moment, but as soon as I can get onto that I'll start fishing, and hopefully we can find some fish. I don't know if you can see very well on this camera, but there's a huge slick of weed. Really, it's probably about 100 meters long, and that's keeps coming straight through. So I really don't know where it's actually coming from. It must be wrapping around that corner. And then if you look out there, you can see there's rain pouring over Sark. And all far out to the southeast there, towards Jersey. It's a really lovely morning. I mean, we're avoiding the rain at the moment. Got a bit of sunshine. It's got that lovely early eerie morning feeling to it. Always feel more confident fishing in conditions like this during the day. Got a nice bit of cloud cover. Fairly big swell rolling in here today, which is strange for the east coast. I knew there'd be a big swell on the west. Oh, was that a splash? Yep, I'm on. That was so weird. This is only a small fish. In fact, a very small fish. Oh, I can't believe that. Come on. Sure, it's definitely a bass, gotta be. Oh, it's actually bigger than I thought. Whoa, he's a bit angry. Right. Oh, it's actually a lot bigger than I thought. Well, I say a lot bigger, but still a small fish, but I was expecting a little tiny piddler. That's actually a decent bass, that. Oh, come on, stay on there. There we go. Well, that was completely and utterly out the blue, and that is actually a nice sized bass. So, how's that for a start to the morning? Boom. Beautiful fish, that. I'd say that's pushing 50 centimeters, I would say. But that was the smallest little splash. Really, I was just talking away to the camera, talking nonsense like usual. Just gonna put it in this pool here. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't splash the camera. But yeah, I was just talking away nonsense, and I saw it's a little bit choppy. I saw the smallest little swirl, and I even thought, was that just a lure? I'm not too sure. So I paused it, then carried on the retrieve. The fish took, and to be honest with you, I was expecting a bass that size. It was very, very small take. But yeah, I'm really surprised and happy about that. First fish down, first spot, so can't complain. A massive thanks to Mick. Thanks very much for sending those lures. The Patchinko 125, I've always said it is my favourite surface lure of all time, and it's doing the trick again. Well, first cast back in, and it didn't go too well. Like I said, there's loads of weed here. I'm not sure exactly where it's all come from, but there's big patches of it, big clumps of it. Luckily it's the tide, like I said, the tide runs real quick, so luckily the tide's taking it through. It must be coming wrapping from around that corner. There's a lot of weed in the water, but the tide's running really fast here, and it's pushing all the weed across. You can see it flying by in the tide. But I keep picking up little bits. There's some really big clumps of it further out as well. But hopefully the tide will slacken off in about half an hour or so. So here I am down at the next spot of the day. Now it's a few hours later. We're coming up to about 12, well, it's roughly 12 o'clock now. We're about an hour and a half into the flood. Now I've come down to the south coast to give it a go here and try for a bass. Going to be using a different lure this time. I only got one of these yesterday. It's the Savage Gear sand eel. This is the 33 gram version. Now I'm going to be fishing this mark. It's a deep water mark, hence the heavier soft plastic. And usually down here a sand eel imitation does very well. Now I've not been here, I don't even know if I've been here this year. It's definitely been at least 10 months, could even be over a year since the last time I fished down here. But we're going to give it a go. It keeps pouring down with rain every now and then, so I'll try and keep it short and keep it simple. Getting a bit low on one of the batteries as well, so it might be on the chest cam most of the footage, but we'll see if we can find a fish. Hopefully we can, so let's get fishing. Now as the tide rises at this spot, the swell's going to pick up. Like I said earlier, we've actually got quite a bit of swell today. This place is renowned for it. Once the tide starts flooding in, it gets a little higher. The swell starts rolling in. It bounces off all of these jagged rocks. Creates quite a stir up. That's why it is a really good spot. I tend to fish here in the winter more than the summer. I think I've got weed on here, yeah. Well, that tide's picking up now. The swell's rolling in quite nicely. Conditions are fairly good. Just got to hope there's some bass around. There is a bit of weed in the water. At the moment I'm on a top water lure. All the weed seems to be further down, deeper in the water. So I reckon I've got about 10 minutes until I need to get over that gully, and then I'll fish from those rocks over there. Tide's flooding in nicely now, so I'd be fairly confident there'd be some bass coming here at some point over the next hour or so. I'm going to stick with the top water for now, and then I'll switch back to the Savage Gear soft plastics in a bit. Oh my goodness, well, I could not tell what the hell was going on then. I thought I hit weed, then it felt like a fish, then it felt like weed again. I think it's a garfish. It looks like a garfish from here. Oh, it's come off. Is it? No. What the hell? I'm pretty sure it's a garfish. Yeah, it is. It's a foul-hooked garfish. Well, that's not what we want. I honestly couldn't work out what the heck happened there. Whoa, be careful. Oh, it's quite a big one actually. There we go. I mean, I know it's only a garfish, but it's actually not a bad size, that. So not what we're after. But one garfish. It's foul hooked on the Samson bomb. Now, luckily, I got a cloth in my pocket, because these things are slimy buggers. There we are. One garfish. Half decent size, that one. Off he goes. So, I'm back out on the rocks. Moving on from my session the other day, it is now a few days later. Now, I didn't end up going out that evening because when I left the last venue, which will be in this video, I actually had some issues with my rod. To keep a long story short, my rod ended up breaking, as in the tip snapped off, so that was fishing done for the day. However, it's a few days later now. I've got a new rod. I've just bought a 9-foot Shimano Airnos 7 to 35 gram lure rod. Going to be using it for the first time today. So I've popped out this morning to continue my hunt for the bass. Now, I know you probably can't see me very well in the camera at the moment. We're just approaching sunrise, It's about 6:45 in the morning. Now it's a Saturday today. I'm actually working a 10-hour shift, so I have exactly 1 hour to fish here and then get back to my car. So I've got the rod all ready to go. I've got the Patchinko 125 hollow bait on there, and I'm going to be throwing this out, and hopefully we can find a bass before work. So let's get that first cast away. There's such a nice orange glow to everything this morning. It's quite cold and there's a bit of a breeze, but still nice morning. Just got that bit of sun breaking through the clouds. And let's hope we can find a fish. I think I'm in. Well, I'm in. I'm into a little fish here. Oh, there we go. Now it's come alive, unless it just got caught in a bit of weed. What is this? That's a pollock. There we go. One little baby pollock on the Patchinko. There's a nice little surprise for the morning. Little juvenile pollock taking on the top water lure. Now on the first cast I actually had a little knock, or what felt like a little knock, and I thought it was just a little bit of weed. And then on the second cast, little baby pollock there. At first it was hard to tell if I even had a fish on. But let's get him back in the water. There we go. Not a bad start. Let's see if we can find that bass. So I wasn't really expecting a pollock this morning. Nice surprise. It's a very small fish. Hard to tell it was even on. Let's see if there's any bass in amongst these fish. Now, I must say, a few casts in, really liking this rod already. I'll tell you more about it later on, but it's a fast action rod, which is what I like. You're using a lot of top water lures, you can work them a lot better. Look at that for a view. Crazy. It's like casting into a film set. Well, I just had another hit just a second ago. Could have been another pollock. Judging by the size of that last one, I'm guessing there's a few swimming around out there. Well, I've just put a shallow diver on and I've just had a little knock, but it's those small fish again. I had a couple more swells behind the top water lure, but they looked like they were just a little pollock going for it. Well, I've just switched back to a top water lure, the whiplash spitting wire, and the garfish have turned up. Just been casting into a different area because it's gone a bit quiet. No signs of any bass. Just had a couple of garfish. Take a swipe at the lure. So that's going to do it for today. My alarm's going off, which tells me I need to get to work. So that brings an end to the fishing session. Now at least it wasn't a blank. Got that one little pollock. Like I said, I had a few more knocks here and there, which I think were just other juvenile pollock. And towards the end there, I was getting a few garfish swiped for a surface lure. But no bass this morning, but that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, at least we caught something though. Really impressed with the new rod, really like it. Yeah, it's got a really nice feel to it. It's a 9-foot rod, and for the last sort of about 2 years I've been fishing an 8-foot. But the 9-foot seems good. I think you get a little bit, you know, that little bit extra casting distance. And yeah, all in all, it's a really nice feeling rod. Now, I went for a fast action rod because I use surface lures a lot. And especially with some of the surface lures I've been using lately, you need a stiff tip in your rod, otherwise you won't be able to work them properly. And yeah, it becomes less effort as well. Sometimes with a softer rod, it can take it out of you on your arm a little bit. But yeah, really like it. Hopefully there's going to be plenty of fish to come on it, and I look forward to using it. It's unfortunate that the never cracked, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. I got about 2.5 years solid fishing out of that rod, and for a 60-pound rod you really can't complain. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I need to get back to work. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you on the next one.